Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at 2 p.m., we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, training programs, technical schools, skilled trade professions, employment opportunities, career exploration, and career readiness skills, all designed to help you make the best career decisions possible. I'm Toni, your host, and today we will provide some information and explore the awesome opportunities in the field of culinary arts. Let me open my screen so I can share this information. Okay, so culinary arts is a profession that works in the food service industry. You will be dealing with food in a variety of ways. There are a lot of opportunities and a lot of different positions that you can be in culinary arts that deals with food. Some that you might not even think, but they actually are. Um, and so it's not just standing behind a stove all the time. There is going to be some food preparation at some point, but it can be in different capacities that might not put you in the mind of what you normally think when you think culinary arts. In order to be successful in culinary arts, you have to be dedicated. You have to be a hard worker. And you have to be creative. You have to have uh, creative ideas on how food will go together and how the taste will mingle and combine and how things will turn out. You have to be very dedicated to this. You have to be creative. You have to be flexible and innovative. These are all qualities that you need to be successful in culinary arts. You need to be a leader, a decision maker. You have to be a take charge person, because working in the restaurant industry or working in the food service industry, because it doesn't necessarily have to be in a restaurant, it could be in a hospital commissary, or it could be in a school commissary. Um, in any event, when it's time to serve people food, things can get a little hectic. And they can get a little hectic because if you're in a restaurant, maybe someone sends the order back because they don't care for it for whatever reason. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe it's just not to their liking or taste. And so these kinds of things um, can heighten one's anxiety, and they can become anxious in performing their job and their duties. And see, you have to be that take charge, that in control person, where when those things happen, they don't, they don't shake you, they don't rattle you and rattle your nerves, and you're just able to take charge and move forward. If you need to um, add parsley to a meal, you need to be able to do that quickly and get that dish back out to that diner. Or what if you run out of something that someone ordered? How do you substitute? What do you do? Where do you go? And so you have to be able to think on your feet and be flexible and adaptable. You have to pay attention to detail, because you have to be consistent in your meal preparation and serving. You can't send a meal out one way and then send the next meal out differently. Um, there is a story about a famous entertainer, Sammy Davis Jr. He's passed on, but they say that he was an excellent cook. But they say that you will never get the same meal twice, because he never wrote any recipes down or paid attention to what he put in the meal, but it was always good. Well, in the restaurant industry, in the food service industry, you can't be inconsistent like that. It has to taste the same every single time. And so you have to pay attention to detail. You have to have integrity about your product. You can't serve food that may be compromised in some way. Um, when we were children, if you drop something on the ground, kissed it up to God. You can't be like that in the food service industry. That's not a good thing. And so you have to have integrity about your food products, and you have to take initiative. You have to be someone who is willing to um, step out of the box and think innovatively in order to create wonderful meals that people will enjoy and come back and purchase and patronize your restaurant. You also need to have good customer relation skills and good business management skills. You have to be able to relate to customers, and you can't be so sensitive that if someone criticizes or questions or sends back a meal you prepare, you can't be that sensitive of a person where you go, well, what do you mean? You have to go, oh, okay, well, how can I make this better for you? You have to be a people person. You have to be able to manage your staff, your kitchen well, because again, it's a hectic job. And oftentimes the anxiety levels in a kitchen, the adrenaline levels are very high. And so you have to be able to manage that so that you can successfully put your meals out. You have to be pretty good in math because you have to be able to figure out formulas for your recipes. You have to be able to count your inventory. You have to be able to calculate your price points for the cost of your meals and what you're going to sell them for. And again, you have to be able to effectively communicate. You have to be able to communicate with your staff so that they know when they go into the dining room what they're going to be selling the diners. You have to be able to effectively communicate with the customers, again, because there may come questions may arise where they have concerns. A lot of people have peanut allergies, and so they'll call the chef over and say, hey, does this have any peanuts in it? And you have to not only be able to say, no, I didn't put any peanuts in it, but you have to make sure that you know that the sauces doesn't have a base where there was nuts used, and that person be very allergic and could very well get sick and or die. So you have to be able to effectively communicate with people. You have to be a problem solver. Like I say, in the restaurant business, it's very fast paced, very hectic. You can go through the amount of food that you purchase and sell out. And then you'll have people who'll still come in and say, hey, I want to order this wonderful dish of grilled chicken. And you're out of chicken, you don't have any more. So you have to be able to figure out, well, what am I going to do to solve this problem? Because you want to make sure that you make sure the customer is happy and understanding enough that they accept, whatever reasoning you may give to take care of that situation. But if you did your math and your formulas correctly, you wouldn't run out of food in the first place. I'm just saying. You have to be very friendly. You have to be people person, approachable. You can't be like you see on television, Hell's Kitchen, Chef Ramsay. That doesn't go very well over in real life situations and circumstances. You think about it. How well would you respond to someone yelling and calling you names? You can't be that kind of person. You have to be a friendly person. You have to be a person that people want to talk to and engage with. And you have to be a good manager of your time. Time is of the essence in the food service industry. Because you only have a certain window, a certain amount of time that you can serve your food safely. So you have to make sure that you plan and prepare and take care of everything so that when it's time to open your restaurant and serve your dishes, everything will go smoothly and you won't have any problems. Education. What do you need as far as education for culinary arts? Well, after you graduate from high school, you have several options. You can go to um, several community colleges. They offer culinary programs. And then there are several private schools that offer culinary certificates. Certificates can be earned in 18 months or less. Schools that offer certificates would be programs like Dorsey or Focus Hope. Schools that offer apprenticeships and associate's degrees, which you can earn in 3 years, 2 years, they'll be your community colleges like Schoolcraft or Macomb or Henry Ford. You can also earn a 4-year bachelor's degree in hospitality, hotel and hospitality management. Now, that will touch somewhat on certain classes that are offered in culinary arts, but their main focus is hospitality management, the management of the staff in hotels, in restaurants, and in big building environments. Um, you won't get a whole lot of cooking instruction classes, but you will get some culinary classes that deal with fundamentals of cooking if you decide to go the hotel hospitality management route. The career opportunities that are available in culinary arts, they are so vast and wide. You can do a number of things. You really can. Um, of course, the biggest coveted position is the executive chef. The executive chef is the chef that is in charge of the entire establishment. They are responsible for not only preparing the food, but coming up with the menu ideas. They come up with the prices for the menu. They order the supplies, the ingredients for the menu, and they manage all of the staff, and they make sure that everything is prepared the way that they want it prepared. The next position is the second in command, and this position is called the sous chef. They are the second person in charge of the kitchen after the executive chef. And they do everything to assist the executive chef as far as preparing the food. The third position is the line cook. The line cook is the individual that you will find on the hotline or what they refer to the grills and the stoves. And they will be in a line literally, because in kitchens they are set up in such a way where the stove is next to the broiler, which is next to the grill, which is next to the flat top, so that when orders are placed and taken, it goes in an orderly fashion. People are not confused, there's not disorganization, and you get your meals out successfully. They prepare all of the hot food. They grill your burgers, they grill your steaks, they cook your sauces and your soups. The next is the prep cook. That's the lowest position in the cook section of a commercial kitchen. And they are responsible for all of the preparation work, cutting all of the vegetables and having them ready for every station in the house. They are responsible for cleaning the fish or deboning the chicken. Everything that a cook needs prepared for them so that they can just go into the kitchen and just cook the meal up. That's what the prep cook does. So you don't have a line cook or a sous chef or an executive chef in the kitchen actually pulling the feathers off the chicken. That's what the prep cook does. So they do all of the preparation work so that the line cook, chef, sous chef, and the executive chef can just fire up the meal. The next position is the chef garmager. I know it looks like it says guard manager, but it is pronounced garmager because it's French. And it is the chef that is in charge of all of the cold food preparation. So in fancy restaurants, you have your pâtés and your crudité platters. These are your vegetable platters and your um, liverwurst platters, if you will. All of your salads, your dressings. That's what the chef garmager is in charge of making. Then you have your pastry chef and your baker. They are responsible for creating all of your pastries and your baked goods, your breads. And then, as we touched on a minute ago, your hotel and hospitality restaurant managers. These are the people that are in charge and making sure that all of the positions that are involved with either serving the food or preparing the food is taken care of and doing what they're supposed to be doing and managing all of those areas. You also have something called a personal chef. This is a chef who works exclusively for corporations or people who own yachts or celebrities. They do everything for that particular group or person. Um, they shop for the food, they prepare the food, they serve the food. That's what a personal chef does. Then you have the caterer. A caterer is a company that will provide food for specific events, weddings, birthdays, funerals, and they can either have a facility where you go in a banquet hall, or they can provide on-premise catering where they will show up wherever it is you want them to show up and provide you with food and service. Then you have your wine steward. This person specifically deals with serving wine and pairing the correct wine with the meal. They are called the sommelier. Then there is institutional food service. This is when you are preparing food for really large groups like hospitals, schools, nursing homes, prisons. There's food service in prison, and it's not always prepared by inmates. Then you have your meat cutters or your butchers, where they specialize in cutting meats from cows, pigs, and they're really good at trimming the selections down so that they are prime cuts, and they sell them to restaurants as well as, grocery stores and things like that. Now, this is where you get into the interesting part. And these are the areas where I was indicating that you would not necessarily think that this was dealing with culinary arts, but indeed it is. Food scientists. Food scientists are research and development scientists dealing with food. For example, your cookbooks, the cookbooks that you see in the stores, in order to put them together, they have to test and make sure that the recipes they put in, A, work, and two, that they taste well. This is where food scientist comes in. Or how do you get food to be preserved while it's on the store shelves? How does it not go bad in one day? That's where a food scientist comes in. They are the people that figure out how to preserve that cut of meat, how to preserve that can of vegetables. That's what a food scientist does. Then you have a food stylist and a food photographer. They are similar in some respect because they work hand in hand. Food photographers, of course, they're the ones that take the photographs for all the commercials, all of the magazine photographs, and your cookbook pictures. That's what they do. Food stylist is the person that positions the food on the plate in these commercials and these magazine ads and in these cookbook pictures. They're the ones that plate it in such a way that when you look at the picture, your mouth literally waters. Um, they position it, and they add things to enhance it to make it just looks so good. That's what a food stylist does. And then there's the food writer. The food writer is the person that either is the food critic for restaurants, or they are the food blogger who writes articles in newspapers and online talking about different restaurants and different food trends. And they are also the people that write the narrative for recipes and cookbooks. So there are a lot of opportunities in culinary arts. And in just about all of them, the the salary that you earn is very lucrative. With regards to food scientists, you're going to go further into chemistry, biology in your degree. With everything else, your basis is going to be either a culinary arts degree or a hotel restaurant management hospitality degree. So specifically, they touch a little bit on certain subjects, but with regards to culinary arts, you gain your experience truthfully when you are actually working in the field. That's really where you get your true education from it. Culinary arts and programs that have it, they give you the basic premise and principles and how to you know how to read a recipe, or how to follow the formula, or how to convert a formula. It does that, or it provides you with information on how to create the basis for a mother sauce. But your true education in culinary arts comes from when you are actually working in your establishment. The role of a chef. We're going to talk about the chef and the cook, because that's truthfully where you're going to start from, the cook's position, and the chef is where you ultimately want to be and what they do. So, role of the chef, they prepare the food, they ensure the safety and the sanitation of food handling, making sure that the practices of safety and sanitation are implemented with all of their employees in the establishment. Um, they direct the preparation of salads and desserts and fish and soups and vegetables to each employee, giving them the exact method, the recipe, how they want to prepare it, the quantity. They help formulate and figure out how much they're going to need to serve 150 people, 200 people, 10 people. They're the ones that's responsible for all of that. They also figure out the price, how much they're going to charge based on the cost of the ingredients that they purchase, and how much they can expect to sell, how much things are currently going for, so that they can help calculate what the maximum price they can charge for a filet mignon, as an example. They are the ones that order all of the supplies from the purveyors, the food purveyors, and they keep records. They have to keep accurate records on inventory and on sales, so that they know whether or not the item that they put on the menu was a success, or nobody hardly bought it. And maybe maybe it tastes good, but maybe a whole lot of people don't like shellfish, and so people just don't order it. They have to make sure that they monitor and watch these areas so that they can continue their success, because you can't keep things on your menu if they're not selling, because the objective is to sell and make money. This is how your restaurant will make its money. So you have to have a good business background and foundation so that you can calculate these things so that you'll be successful. Now, the cook, on the other hand, um, in some cases, especially if the executive chef asks, but the cook, on the other hand, their primary role is just really to cook and prepare the food, whether it's salads, whether it's steaks, whether it's soups, potatoes, and desserts. That's what their job is. Whatever that executive chef, whatever that head chef wants them to do as far as preparing any of the food items, that's what they do. The hours are, they tend to be pretty long, and you tend to be on your feet all day. So you have to have a good physical endurance and stability so that, you know, you can fulfill that. You can't be in anybody's kitchen tomorrow. Oh, I'm tired, I need to sit down. You will be unemployed quickly. Okay. Uh, the salary range broken down hourly, on average, your starting salary is about 16, almost $17 an hour to begin with. It can go as high as, depending upon your establishment, it can go as high as 80 to $100,000 a year if your establishment has that, you know, is that good, and you've developed the reputation and established good practices. Starting salary, like I say, for cooks, around 16, $17 an hour, which comes out to about $35,000 a year, which is really good money, especially if you're just starting out, you know. But again, high end on that, you know, you put your time in, you get your education, it can go up 86 to 100, $150,000 a year. All of those celebrity chefs that you see on television, they make that kind of money and more because of the clientele that they deal with. So, where do you go to get a culinary education? Well, locally here in Michigan, I would begin with the Focus Hope organization because they offer a free 5 week, 120-hour certificate program that gives you basic cooking instructions, safety, sanitation, knife skills, basic cookery. That's a good opportunity to train and get your feet wet and determine whether or not that this is a good career fit for you. If you find that it is, you can then go off and go further to one of these programs. Baker College in Flint has a culinary program, Macomb Community, Oakland Community, Henry Ford, Schoolcraft, Washtenaw Community, Wayne County, Dorsey Schools, Cleary University, and Mott Community College. All of them have a culinary arts program that will allow you to obtain either a certificate of completion in culinary arts, which you can earn in about 18 months or less, or an associate's degree. And in some cases, um, like Cleary University, you can earn your bachelor's degree in hotel and hospitality management. The web addresses are listed there next to each college name. You can go on their website, pull up the information, see what kind of courses that they offer, see what's all involved in the courses that they offer, because you need to do your research. You shouldn't pick this or any career just based on, oh, I heard it paid good money or it sounds real good. You really should go in and look at it and read about it and see what's all involved. And then if you can, even if you happen to meet or know someone that works in the industry, talk to them and ask them, you know, what is it like to be a chef? What do you do? What is involved in it? Um, what can I expect? What are the highs? What are the lows? You know, what are the rigors of the industry? You know, what are my opportunities? How successful can I really be? You know, how high can I really go in this? And the truth of the matter is, you can go as far and as hard, you know, as high as you want. It truly is based on your talent. How talented are you? You know, can you cook or can you cook? You know, and how creative are you in coming up with new recipes and ideas to feature your cooking? So that is all we have for today. I hope this information was helpful. I want to thank everyone for joining me, and I wish you all a great day. Oh, let me back up. Are there any questions?
Miss Toni, were you ever a culinary person? Because you were very knowledgeable.
um, I am actually a chef.
Okay, I
I
never
am
knew that.
I am an actual retired chef.
Oh, so you kept that a secret?
Right, Miss Toni, because I never knew that.
Me neither.
Yeah, 25 years in the industry. I worked under master chef, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I can tell you had something to do with it because you were very knowledgeable of what you were saying.
But oh my God, it's the truth. You can go as far as I mean, truly, the sky is the limit. It is just based on how hard you're willing to work, you know, and what what you're willing to put into it. If you're willing to just go out there and do your due, nothing. I'm telling you, nothing can nothing can keep you back, to hold you back. It's just up to you and how bad you want it and what you're willing to do to go after it. Um, like I said, you can go after the celebrity route, and you can be a chef to famous people, you know, people of notoriety, or you can just be a really good chef and cook for people, and people in your area, your city, your town support your cooking, and you become famous in that way, you know. um it just is. It's, and the money, you will never ever be employed in the food service industry, because everybody got to eat, and everybody's going to eat in some way, shape, form, or fashion, you know. If you're creative, in, like with COVID, when COVID happened, a whole lot of stuff shut down because we had to. But if you were a creative person, you figured out a way to work around the pandemic and still make your money, because there were there even though we were on lockdown, there were a lot of ways that you could have still been, you know, quite successful. DoorDash, they capitalized on that. They did very well. Any other questions?
Yeah, Miss Toni, I joined a bit late, and did you guys only talk about culinary school?
Today was the presentation on culinary arts only. There are going to be others, but today was for culinary. What are you interested in hearing about?
My sister and I are interested in medical and law.
Medical and law.
Yeah, like the associate degree, medical degrees, like the sonography, ultrasound, radiology.
Oh, okay. I have some medical assisting programs and information coming up in November. And at the end of the month, end of this month, I have a presentation coming up on law enforcement and obtaining your degree by working through a law enforcement agency.
Yeah, my sister's interested in that.
Oh, good for her. Good for her. I am a very huge advocate for debt freedom, and I don't believe in going into debt to get your education. And so there are ways where you can actually become employed for law enforcement agencies, and through tuition reimbursement, they will pay for your law degree, which is an excellent opportunity. And when you work for law enforcement, you don't have to always be the cop on the street. There are many areas in law enforcement where you don't even have to be, you know, out on the street. You can be behind a desk, behind a computer. You can work in the graphics department. There are a lot of opportunities that way where you are employed and are able to take advantage of tuition reimbursement through law enforcement agencies and get your paralegal or your law degree, you know. So at the end of the month, check me out. And
Yeah, she wants to be like a lawyer, and she's trying to figure out like a paralegal lawyer.
good for her. Good for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Good for her. She, like I said, check me out at the end of the month, and I can show you some programs that she can graduate from our program, high school, with her high school diploma, go right into a law enforcement agency, get employed through them, and then work on going to school for her paralegal and then her law degree
Yeah, that's
for
nice.
free, pretty much.
Oh, that's nice. Like, can you send out the links in Zoom? Cause
I
I got
sure
this link from like 2 weeks ago.
I sure can. Type your email in the chat for me and I will send it out.
Okay, I will.
Good
Thank
deal.
you.
Good deal. You're
Miss
welcome.
Toni,
Yes.
have you heard of a
Look at you,
culinary arts
Cindy. You're
school?
so
How are
beautiful.
you? The Culinary Arts School in Phoenix, Arizona?
Well, now, okay. Yes, they Scottsdale.
Yeah, Scottsdale. Okay.
And there's La Cordon Bleu. There is Culinary Institute in West Virginia. There are a lot of big time, prestigious culinary arts schools.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be real when I tell you, they teach the same culinary principles as Schoolcraft community, Macomb community, Henry Ford community at a whole lot less money.
Okay.
It don't make no sense. In other words, you can buy designer jeans or you can buy regular jeans that you still look good in. That's real talk.
Got you.
It's about your talent and ability. And if you have that talent and ability, you don't need a designer name on your diploma. Your ability to cook, your ability to produce food that tastes wonderful will shine through whether your diploma is from Macomb community or La Cordon Bleu.
Okay. Got you.
Save your money.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, Miss Toni. So the link we use today will be used for all of your career corners, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got you. Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask that.
Because we were confused because the calendar you sent out ended in September, and we was like, well, where's October? But
I
then
sent a calendar in October.
well, I didn't get it.
I
We
didn't
was-
either.
We got the link. I just told Miss Leslie and Amanda, we're gonna try this link that we use for September, see if it worked, and it worked. That's what
Yeah.
we,
It will be the same link every month. But
okay.
do you all look in, okay, do you